In 1955, Universal went back to the Black Lagoon and continued its King Kong underwater franchise with The Revenge of the Creature. There's a pattern to classic Universal horror films. The first is always a classic or near classic. The second follow-up sequel is always good, but never quite as good as the original. And the rest of the films are usually various degrees of entertainingly bad films. Picking up where the scientists in the previous movie left off, another group goes to the Black Lagoon and this time quickly manages to destroy the entire ecosystem with good old-fashioned dynamite. They capture the creature in the first 20 minutes, which is something the team of scientists in the previous film failed to do at all. This sequel gets extra points for maintaining continuity between the films, a struggle for all Universal horror movie franchises. Good Dr. David and Kay from the first film are nowhere to be found. We assume that surviving the creature the first time was once enough, and they're married, ichthyologying somewhere. But never fear, we have a new set of people to care about. John Ager plays Professor Cleet Ferguson, the love interest.
Baby, you're all that I want when you
And hunky John Bromfield is Joe.
I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven.
The one who captures the creature but is quickly dispatched by his conquest later in the film. Why? Why? Blonde bombshell Laurie Nelson replaces brunette beauty Julie Adams, although they seem to share the same white bathing suit. Unfortunately, the acting is slightly more wooden and the motivations are just a little muddier. Snarky! Like King Kong, the creature is taken back to civilization, to an oceanarium. That's like a planetarium, but with an ocean, on display for all to see. The creature is kept chained down for all the ichthyologists, a reporter calls that a $10 word, to study. King Kong is slightly more honest. His captors simply want to display the beast for profit. These scientists have the vague notion that studying the creature will help fill in the gaps evolution leaves out. They more or less train the creature to stop,
collaborate and listen,
by teasing, tempting, probing, and then ultimately shocking him with a cattle prod. You kind of feel sorry for the Gill Man as he is first dubbed in this movie by a radio announcer who mysteriously wears less and less clothing every time he's shown. Returning director Jack Arnold yet again brings the theme of evolution into the mix, drawing out the possible connection between humans and apes, humans and dolphins, and humans and creatures from the Black Lagoon. I guess the moral is we are all interconnected and we don't need to study each other but understand each other. Right? Right? Anyway, Arnold was able to slide these messages easier and more subtle in the previous film. Unlike its predecessor, this film is very much grounded in the 1950s. We see a cop breaking up a couple necking in a car. There are two friends who discuss how important a college education is nowadays, and the female protagonist has to make the tough choice of pursuing a career or settling on being a wife and a mother. The most interesting scene is when the creature breaks his chain and escapes, causing sheer panic in the oceanarium. That's like a planetarium, but with an ocean. As the Cold War was beginning to escalate, it's didactic to know how American culture was braced for this kind of panic and hysteria. In fact, the radio announcer says that the capture of the Gill Man has created the greatest scientific stir since the explosion of the nuclear bomb.
nuclear.
The one aspect of this film that does top the first one is its underwater sequences. They're more thrilling and better choreographed. At the oceanarium, it's like a planetarium, but with an ocean. scientists swim around in a tank, not only with the creature, but with sharks and stingrays and all sorts of fish. This proximity to the creature and other more authentic terrors of the water enliven the thrill of watching the film. Like the original, Arnold takes his time in pacing everything just right, so the climax of the movie is more of a payoff. Even if the last frame of the movie is the exact last frame of the first one. Whoops. Well, not superior to the previous film, being weighted down by more scientific mumbo-jumbo and 1950s sensibilities. The Revenge of the Creature creates enough new thrills to make it a nice companion piece to the classic that precedes it, and maybe even a glimpse into the real terror going on at the time. Oh, a bit of trivia. You can spot an early Clint Eastwood appearance as a befuddled scientist. That is enough to make this film worth watching. The 3D glasses. This movie was in 3D.